What's going on, everybody? My name is Joshua Daniel Grant. I'm saying the full name because I'm also a recording artist. And if you take the time to look at my music, I want you to search up Joshua Daniel Grant so that you can hear all of the songs I've written, the songs I produced, and all that good stuff. I am also a educator here in Decatur, Georgia. All right, I'm living in like the Decatur slash Atlanta area. I just moved here about, I want to say like 6-7 months ago, and I've been loving it. All right, this is like my new apartment. It's pretty cool. So I wanted to start continuing my YouTube journey from just music videos connected to singles that I've done to ways to help you walk in this life in a Christ-like way. Everything that I do is gonna fall back on biblical principles, but I'm a very open-minded guy. So I'm gonna try to bring in topics that are like heavy life topics and then swing it right back on around to biblical principles. Be sure to subscribe and like drop stuff in the comments so that you can help me as I go along in this journey. So I am 30 years old. I'm single. I'm a recording artist, producer, an educator that loves the Messiah. And so the first topic that I wanted to do was how to resist temptation. But how can you resist something if you don't know what it is, right? So what is temptation? So like I wrote down a little definition here, right? Because I'm not like memorization genius or anything like that. So I'm gonna read it. Temptation, the desire to do something, especially something wrong or unwise, right? A thing or course of action that attracts or tempts someone. So the desire to do something, especially something wrong or unwise, a thing or a course of action that attracts or tempts someone. So I want to let you know that there is no temptation under the sun that's not common to mankind, to us as human beings. So you are not alone in the thing that you're facing. Many a times when it comes to temptation, we like to like take on the load, I believe, of what we're going through. And then some of us can kind of pile that on and say, I'm being tempted. It's not fair. I'm gonna ride it out until it's over. Why me? Nobody else is going through this. Nobody else could possibly be going through this, but that's not true. I'm here to let you know that that's not true and that you're not alone and that someone somewhere else in some corner of this earth is facing what you're facing. And even that in itself should bring you some type of solace, some type of peace, some type of comfort to know that you're not facing it by yourself and that there's strength in the numbers of the people that are maybe fighting the same thing that you are. Now, on top of knowing that you're not alone and that you're not the only one that's facing it, Yeshua the Messiah, Jesus Christ, right? He faced everything that we could ever face, right? The word of Yahweh tells us that he came here in the flesh and that he was tempted in every single way that we could possibly be tempted. And you were probably saying, no, he wasn't. He had to go through what I go through, right? He doesn't have all these modern day things that he's facing or he faced. But he did. And what are some of the things, that can tempt us, right, in this life? And I kind of tried to brainstorm some things of my own. And I came up with, we could be tempted to have anxiety about something, to worry. We could be tempted to procrastinate, eating too much, right? Overindulgence in certain things like electronics, social media. We could become lazy. We could be tempted to have a lazy day. I don't really want to do too much, right? Habits such as drinking, smoking, violence, sex, food, drinks, drugs, money, all them things that, come with that dum 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 kind of sound if you don't practice self-control then you won't stay in control, and these things will kind of overtake your life by tempting you, right? And so, how to resist temptation? Taking comfort in the fact that you're not alone. Knowing that Yeshua, the one victorious over all sin and temptation, overcame everything that you can face, and he can be an advocate for you. So if we lean on him, right, he could be a way of escape from the temptations that we face. The last thing that I want to share with you before the next part comes, right, is, because I'm going to do a 3-part series on this, is to know that God does not tempt. Whoa. Yahweh doesn't tempt. He's not the tempter. Satan, the devil, the father of evil, he is the tempter. So check this out. Anytime that you feel tempted, if you are trying to live in the word of Yahweh and live a godly life, then every time the feeling of temptation and sin rises up in you or around you, I want you to tell yourself that this has nothing to do with what Yahweh God has for me, because nothing about him resides next to temptation. Nothing about his makeup exists in the realm of succumbing to temptation. So if I'm tempted to drink, if I'm tempted to spend my money, if I'm tempted to look at this thing that I'm not supposed to be looking at, the time that I'm bonding with and spending with that thing, Yahweh has nothing to do with that time that I spent there, because he's not an advocate of me being tempted or spending time or bonding or dwelling with my sin at all. That helps me because I want to be where he is. I want to be near him. I want to be in the realm of where he wins every time. So if I'm being tempted and I know that I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to do, reminding myself that I'm not going to get rewarded in a godly way for this. Yahweh's not smiling at me for this. So I'm going to take myself, take my body, right? And I'm going to step away. My bad. I just shook the camera, but I'm going to step away. I can't be here. Right? So for part 1 of how to resist temptation, kind of let me go through it in my mind again, is knowing that you're not alone in it when it comes, right? And tries to tempt you. Knowing that you have an advocate and you have a savior that you can go to that is victorious over all temptation and sin. 3, knowing that all temptation comes from the tempter, who is the devil, who is Satan. And if you are attempting to live a life that is godly, that is holy, that is righteous, then any time that you find yourself in sin, that you find yourself losing to the temptation, shake yourself as best you can and confidently tell yourself that this is not of Yahweh, that it's not godly, that it's not righteous. And if I have any plans of him meeting me where I am and continuing to bless me and show me all of the good things that he has for me, then I can't be here, can't continue to be tempted and lose to these sins. All right. Once again, my name is Joshua Daniel Grant. I hope maybe you'll check out my music. I hope that you'll subscribe to this channel. And I hope that you will leave comments and that you will leave likes. And your opinions and your contributions. And I will be back for a part 2 on how to resist temptation. All right. Have a blessed day, and your access has fully been granted. Peace.